time for you guys?
3-day break's always at the right time. It's always a good time to have that. No, it was good. We hopefully a couple light days. Off day on Sunday. Yesterday was more of a maintenance day, and had a good run today. So, you always like taking advantage of those.
I know the guys probably on the trip have asked you about this, but how do you think the changing in the starting lineup has impacted particularly the second unit?
I think it's too early to say, honestly. But that was one of the reasons why we changed the starting lineup, was because when Mo and Chief started, that was basically our best lineup, and that twosome of Mo and Chief was one of our better twosomes. So I think it's a little early to see, because of the foul trouble in both Philly and Boston, to see what the impact is as far as the rotation.
But your thinking was to kind of maybe give that second unit a little more pop?
The thing was just we needed to try something, and I didn't want to take out one of them, whether it's Mo or Chief. I just thought seeing what would happen, but the confidence that I have in Mo and Chief certainly is there, and bringing them off the bench hopefully would just change the dynamics of the bench.
Seems like Evan's got a little more time playing primary ball handler with both guys, both Dame and CJ off the ball too.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna take a while, because honestly I'd have to go check the numbers how many minutes before we changed the starting lineups that Evan got to actually play with both Dame and CJ. So that was something I thought that we would eventually get to, and so for 2 games it's been good.
What did you mean you didn't want to take one of them out? It was either none or both? Is that what you meant? Or
Yeah, one is I didn't want to necessarily single out Mo or Chief. I think people would read into that too much, and and they do play well together. And when you bring them off the bench, then that maximizes their time together.
Chief seems to, particularly off the bench in the past 2 games, seems to really be giving you guys something.
Chief gives us something no matter what. I mean, he's if you look at our defensive numbers since he came back, I mean, we're in the top 10 defensively. He certainly had an impact on that. We finished the game with him. So, even though Noah's starting, Chief's going to get the bulk of the minutes at the 4 because we're a better team when he's out there at the 4.
You talked about defense. So CJ's steal numbers over the past month have been basically double his season average. Have you noticed that at all? Or him being more aggressive defensively in terms of at least for those?
I think steals are a function of being alert and opportunistic rather than being aggressive. If you're locked in and focused defensively, if you're in the right position, if you anticipate, I think that's when steals come.
Jake's heading to the D League. What do you hope he gets out of that?
Playing time. I think it'll be a good experience. When Tim gets healthy, he'll join him. But Tim sprained his ankle at the end of his last game, so when he gets healthy, he'll join Jake down there. But Jake's going to get about 8 games and a lot of run, and it's both. Tim really enjoyed his 3 games, and I think it was a positive experience, and I think it'll be the same thing for Jake.
Could you anticipate you guys getting a D League team, or?
That's not even a question for me.
Sure, but would you see value in it, like being able to use this more regularly without staying in Chicago?
I think that it can be valuable if it's done in the right way. I think one of the things that is really beneficial for a lot of the teams when the logistics are easy, like Austin and San Antonio, or Chicago's in the same city, or Santa Cruz is close to Oklahoma City is in the same city. Right. So when the logistics of being able to go and play in a game, Dallas is in the same city, then it really becomes more beneficial for the team and the player.
It seems like the league is trending that way. It seems like we'll get 30 teams with at least close proximity.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know what the new CBA entails, but I think there have been some accommodations for the D League in the CBA that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, there's going to be 2-way contracts, so you can sign a guy to both.
Yeah, so I think it looks like it's going in that direction, and I just don't know the time frame.
Do you have any say on how players are used when you send them down there? Are you concerned about any of that?
I think one thing Neil does when we, especially since it's not our franchise, is that when we send them, we can send them to any team, but we want to make sure that whoever the player is gets an opportunity to play, and that he'll be used. So that's one of the things Neil and his staff did, was make sure that both Jake and Tim are going to a place where they'll get playing time and they will be used.
What's your thought on the Lakers and kind of how they're playing right now?
Without Russell, that's going to change. I think the Dallas game was a little an outlier for them. They started Ingram at the point guard. That'll be interesting. But they're a tough team because they are young and they play hard. And we won the last game. I thought our defense in the second half, in particular, was very good. And but they're a dangerous team because they are young, they play hard, and they can get hot.
Now that you've seen them a couple of times, what differences have you seen now that Coach Walton is in charge down there? I mean, style of play or
Differences compared to
from previous, last season, for instance. How are they?
Well, the biggest difference is Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
I think he had a little bit of an impact on the team, but I think they've they're establishing an identity. I think Luke has them playing. Obviously, his time in Golden State influenced his view of basketball as well as his playing days. So I think they're still finding their way. But last year it's difficult to compare this year to last year because of Kobe and how that team, they were kind of in between a Kobe team and a young team. And this year I think they've gone in the direction of building through their young guys.